power and to an extent want to empire building, which is why he killed Soleimani and why he fomented an unsuccessful coup in Venezuela.
And again, what you also mentioned is about that this isn't democracy anymore, and that you talked about running campaigns. This is the headline now. Just picked this up before we went on the air from CNBC. Ready? Big money donors rally behind Biden as he launches his re-election bid. Isn't that great? Yeah. Big money donors. So all you people, all us people, the plantation workers of Slavelandia, you can't run for anything. It's only if you're backed by the rich. Morons and imbeciles call these campaign contributions. Adults call them bribes and payoffs. These are the people. This is the headline. Here. Big money Democrats donors are lining up to support President Joe Biden now that he confirmed his running re-election. Reid Hoffman, the billionaire LinkedIn co-founder, is offered to host fundraising events. Haim Sabin, media mogul and creator of Power Rangers, said, quote, he will do all I can to have President Biden reelected for a well-deserved second term. Well-deserved? Who the hell are you talking to? Hey, I'm a billionaire, Celente. You're just a piece of crap. He's well-deserved. Well-deserved for what? What did he do to improve this country? Slime ball? Oh, I shouldn't say that. Maybe he'll have me killed.
Well, you know, the fact that the media takes that seriously and uncritically shows you how, contrary to when we were young and the media was adverse to the government and was challenging the government and trying to expose the government, particularly during the Vietnam War era, today, because the CIA has effectively bribed the media by giving it secret information, which is just the CIA's version of things, the media maintains its support, continued support of big government. You know, I don't even know that whoever the Republican candidate will be would be any better than Joe Biden. It would have to be an iconoclast, a person willing to shake things up. And if it's a mainstream Republican, they're in favor of the war. They're in favor of big government. Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, wants to raise the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion. Only $1.5 trillion, Kevin. I mean, these people are all, excuse me, Gerald, they're all in the same pocket. Big government's pocket.
Well, you know, I want to see RFK Jr. You know, again, people don't like him, a lot of them, because of his climate change issues. But, you know, on other issues, again, as I see it, and the motto of the Trends Journal is think for yourself. He aims, these are criticisms about the pharmaceutical industry, big social media companies that he accused of censorship, a commitment, Mr. Biden's commitment to the war in Ukraine, and former Donald Trump's lockdown of the country early in the pandemic. This is what happens when you censor somebody for 18 years, he said. And again, I believe he has a shot, but he's not going to go anywhere, because now it's coming out that Biden will not debate anyone.
So well, Biden can't debate anyone. He can't debate RFK Jr.
Nope.
And assuming he gets the nomination, he can't debate Trump or DeSantis or whoever the Republican nominee is going to be. I concede with you that RFK Jr. has aspects of greatness to him and a willingness to shake and to tame the system, to break the American rhythm of war and the American rhythm of corporatism between big government and big business. And I'm 1,000% with you and with him on all of that. We'll see where it goes. You know, the base of the Democratic Party, which is to what he's appealing now, is hard left. Even the progressives in the Democratic Party are in favor of this war. So he's got to change some minds, but he has the skills with which to do it.
And if he had you as vice president, that would really be great, because it would bring in a whole different crowd that he needs. You know, and going back to this thing about the this money going to the candidates. It's disgusting. And Alexander Soros, son of billionaire George Soros, said in a tweet, quote, he's riding with Biden. One billionaire after another. This is not a democracy. Everybody get this in your head. And it's a disgrace what's going on over here. And we have a bunch of imbecile, moronic, demonic people running and ruining our lives. And again, you know, this article that you wrote, the lesson of Afghanistan is a warning. And that Biden has ignored. And now they got us into this Ukraine war. And the fear is that there's going to be a nuclear exchange. And as we wrote in this week's Trends Journal, they are, and that's your cover of your Trends Journal, endangered species over here. You're talking about the empire, and it's an empire in decline. That the Russians are now saying over and over again that we're getting closer and closer to a nuclear exchange. But the mainstream media is not reporting it. And you also mentioned about how the mainstream media used to be when we were young. I'll never forget when I was in college and in graduate school, how many people wanted to become journalists because of the Pentagon Papers being released, what Hirsch was doing, what Seymour Hirsch was doing. People were so proud of the journalists for speaking up, standing up, and speaking out against the government committing crimes. And now journalism is dead because what do you have? Five companies, large companies that control 92% or 95% of the media. And you can thank Bill Clinton, his 1996 Federal Communications Act that allowed the bigs to take over everything.
Right. It's not the noble, honorable profession that it once was. And without, changing the subject radically, you get a little bit too strong, a little bit too anti-establishment. Even if you are the king of the hill at the biggest cable network in America, you get fired.
Yep. And again, think about that. It's big news that Tucker Carlson got fired. One guy in the entire mainstream media that wasn't on the same page with 99.99999%, and he's fired. That shows you how bad it is. That one guy is making all this news because he doesn't agree with the mainstream narrative. That shows you America, the country bringing freedom and democracy to countries around the world. Oh, by the way, you mentioned about how Woodrow Wilson, that arrogant slimeball, may rot in hell, that gave us the Federal Reserve, federal income tax, the IRS in World War I. That was his slogan: bring freedom and democracy.
Kill innocence to make the world safe for democracy, and sow the seeds for World War II. Arguably the worst president in American history after Abraham Lincoln in terms of needless deaths and authoritarianism.
Well, Judge,
right. One of these days we have to have a Wednesday where all we talk about are happy things.
Oh, yeah. You mean like the great music, or the way people dress, and by the way, the big news now, young people are getting more surgery now for obesity. Yeah, rather than stop eating crap, get surgery. What are we going to talk about? Look at this country's going down in front of our eyes, and that's why we're so heartbroken and fight the way we do. And remember, everybody, you see the judge live right up here in Kingston on May 27th on the Four Corners of Freedom, Crown and John Street. So far, we got Judge Andrew Napolitano, Gary Null, John Whitehead, Frank Morano, and more coming. So remember, do what you can to support us, because we're doing everything we can to support you. And Judge, who's on the next show in Judging Freedom?
Colonel McGregor, 3:00 this afternoon Eastern, and then my old CIA buddy, who of course is not with us in anything, and my audience loves to hate him, Jack Devine, at 4:00 Eastern.
Wow, great. Thanks for all you're doing, Judge. We'll see you next week.
All the best.